All right, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. WWE's Money in the Bank 2025 just ended. It ended with a huge return to WWE, but now you're looking at Twitter, and it's not even a return. Is it a debut? We've had K-Quick, we've had R-Truth, but Ron Killings has never been in WWE. And everything on Twitter that WWE is putting up is basically saying that Ron Killings is who came back and interrupted this match. I guess maybe R-Truth is dead. Maybe we're getting, when was 2002? It was 23 years ago. We're getting Ron Killings a little bit too late. The serious NWA champion of TNA. You're going to be running wild, but Cody Rhodes makes his return to WWE, getting a big win, pinning the WWE champion. Is that enough to put him over the top to be the true number one contender for SummerSlam? Or is Seth Rollins just going to walk out on Raw tomorrow and basically say that he wants to use his shot at the championship at SummerSlam against John Cena, and he's just going to cut in line? Or maybe he goes against Jey Uso, or maybe he just pins Uso after just his ass has been kicked by Gunther. Maybe he finds another way to secretly tap out Gunther during their Raw match, escapes to victory. Gunther snaps and just starts hitting him with suplexes and choking him out. And Seth comes down with his briefcase, and there's nothing Jey can do. We'll have to see what we can do for that. But if I had money to bet, I'd be going with Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam. Probably going to be your SummerSlam main event. Let's get down to business here. Today was a long day of wrestling. I did it to myself. It is now 7:30. So we've been watching wrestling in this house for 7.5 hours. The AAA show, Worlds Collide. I didn't have to watch that. I watched it basically because there was nobody in the house but me and the dogs. And I didn't really know what else to do. But maybe if I would have watched something on HBO Max, or if I would have fired up some sort of a documentary, or just kept watching YouTube videos the whole day, and then flipped on Money in the Bank once the pre-show started at 3, and then the actual show started at 4, maybe that would have been, something that was more appealing to me, especially the fact that I don't really know everything that's going on in that company. I didn't know they let the fans into the press conference, the show. There's the green smiley guy shirt. I'm not complaining. I think that guy pays his money. I think he deserves to be there. There's a lot of people who just complain that he's in the same spot every time, but that guy's paying for his seats. You'd pay for him too if you could. But maybe it's part of the VIP on location deal that you get to go in there if you buy those seats. But too much wrestling. Honestly, the same negative things I say about AEW. Hopefully, I'm sure they're going to do it again, but I know deep down that I can't do it to myself again. This was a good show that I think if I would have gone in fresh, not watching 3 hours of wrestling before this, I think it would have got more into it. Kicked off with the women's Money in the Bank match. Naomi won that one. My good friend Zach, who lives here in Rancho Cordova, he picked the winner in that one, and he was kind of the only people that I saw pick Naomi to win it. What she's going to do with this Money in the Bank briefcase, I'm not quite sure. If she's going to chase after Tiffany, or maybe switch over to Monday Night Raw and be looking to see what Io Sky has going down. More than likely, in my mind, I think this is going to be a long Money in the Bank reign for Naomi, much like how Tiffany had it last year. I don't think we're going to need to be thinking it right out of the gate, but I think they're going to be tempting us to be thinking about it. I think they got to kind of rebuild Naomi up after the whole Jade storyline, and then kind of not following through with what we all thought they were going to do with Bianca, saying that they were still together after WrestleMania, but they've been in the ring, and we haven't really made that connection yet. They still could do it, but it seemed like it was so easy to put those together. From Worlds Collide, we had Dominic Mysterio make a match where he defended his Intercontinental Championship against Octagon Jr. Octagon Jr. come out looking like Quang in the WWF days. I'm taking a shot at him only because of the fact they don't know anything about him. I'm sure there's people who watch AAA who thought it was really cool that Octagon Jr. was wrestling on a WWE pay-per-view. Him and Dom had a really good match. Dom actually pulled out a win. He's defended his Intercontinental Championship, I think, twice now. This one on pay-per-view, the other time on Monday Night Raw against Penta. And this was a really good match. I really wouldn't be surprised if they're terminating Dominic Mysterio babyface. With the whole Judgment Day impending doom coming. But we'll have to see what comes along with that storyline as they push forward from there. Becky Lynch beat Lyra Valkyrie in her Women's Intercontinental Championship match. I don't really understand Becky Lynch wrestling for a second tier championship in WWE. It's much like when Shawn Michaels was wrestling for the Intercontinental belt when he was wrestling like in the early In Your House days. He had already been WWE champion, but because Diesel was wrestling for the WWF championship, he was wrestling for the Intercontinental championship. They were still the two dudes with attitude. You knew that Shawn was one of the best workers on the roster, but I think he just wanted the gold to just say he had the gold. Maybe he wanted it so somebody else wouldn't have it. Those whole days with the Clique, we'll never really understand it unless we were in the room. I even listened to the Kevin Nash podcast. He makes it seem like it's not as bad as guys like Shane Douglas or Bam Bam Bigelow made it seem in their shoot interviews. Swears that, these guys were friends. Even though that there's all, bad said about it. Nash never really takes shots at guys that have passed away who aren't there to defend themselves. But not really quite sure. But then in the second to last match, this one honestly should have had me more up off my feet instead of having me sort of yawning and looking at my computer. Seth Rollins wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. Lots of stuff coming out of this. Basically, Seth called for the Hounds with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker coming out. I thought at that point we would see CM Punk and Sami Zayn come out to try and stop Seth Rollins. No word on where they are. I don't know if they got to fly home for the weekend. They weren't at the they weren't at the AAA show. I thought that Punk would show up and do commentary or something like that. I didn't see that. But I thought that CM Punk had meet and greets. So I don't know why they used him, but instead, we got the Bloodline. Jeff Cobb came out with Jacob Fatu, and they caused hell. At one point, Braun Breaker was giving a spear where he did his run around the ring, and there was a cameraman that was there. And Braun had to actually jump the cameraman to make sure he didn't run through him, and then he still hit his spear a moment later. So that was beyond crazy. Jacob Fatu ends up picking up Solo, throwing him into the ring, told him he loved him, set the ladder up for him. Solo said he didn't want that ladder, he wanted a different ladder. He put that ladder up, and then he made him move the ladder to the other side. And, once he got up there, he yelled, "I hate you, Solo." Pulled him down, kicked his ass, left him laying, and just walked out of there. There was one last ditch by LA Knight to try and stop Seth Rollins, but Seth was just too strong, had too many guys out there to help him. Grabs that Money in the Bank. I think he's going to be using this, honestly, sooner than later. I really thought that was the reason why they had the Money in the Bank match not be the main event. I thought they were going to beat up Jey Uso, and Rollins might come out there and pick the meat off. I've said that 3 times in 3 different videos. I don't know why that is my new cliche now. Pick the meat off the bones. I'm talking about somebody coming out there with the Money in the Bank briefcase. We had Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso beat John Cena. We talked about that at the beginning, pretty sure. Cena and Logan Paul didn't work together good at times. They were fighting. Logan hit him with this big hangman splash. from the outside. Ron Killings made his return to WWE. Should have been a really, really good show, but I did it to myself. I watched the AAA show, even though I had nothing really invested in it. I thought it was going to be bigger and better than it was, but I'd never seen the product before, and I think in every match there was somebody that I just did not know who they were and didn't know anything other than the WWE guys. So, Money in the Bank 2025. Good show. Too long. Not great.